I'm going to take a look at some Form 4s that are issued for HYLN at the end of last weekend, and also a social media change that I noticed with something related to HYLN. There's a Form 4, and for all the people in the C-suite, that's the chief whatever officer, there's a footnote for them for performance stock incentive units, and it says that these awards have been granted per the 2024 Equity Incentive Plan. The award is contingent upon achieving underlying closing stock price thresholds ranging from $4 to $7 per share over a 90 to 180 calendar day average by the end of the year of 2028. And these started appearing when they pivoted and started doing share buybacks. The first one was from, they wanted, the PSUs were being awarded from $2 to $3 a share, and it briefly was in that range. And then the stock price got hammered back down because at this point, for the public perspective, it looks like it's like a research and development company, and they're just they have this GE technology called the Carnot generator, and they're trying to get it out to the market. And initially, it sounded like they wanted to rapidly scale up, but it's hard to tell what they're going to do. It's hard to predict the future, but it sounds like it's now muted, where they're not going to scale up as significantly from what I thought previously. Now, if you go back to the prior year, there was something similar issued in February of last year, where PSUs were awarded, and it's contingent upon achieving underlying closing stock prices ranging from $4 to $6 per share over a 90 to 180 calendar day average by the end of the year of 2027. So the only difference between the two is the ending range of the stock price and the expiration date of the PSUs. Well, there's also another difference. There is also the date exercisable in, I'll show you on the spreadsheet here. For 2025, the earliest that they can exercise this is February, the first one of 2025 is February 18th of 2026, which is a couple days away. And it expires at the end of 2027. The most recent one, and this is weird, is the date exercisable is the end of the year of 2028. And it's set to the same date as the expiration year. And I checked a couple of the C-suite Form 4s, and it says the same thing. The date exercisable is set to the same time or the same date as the expiration date, which is something I found weird. But in the worst case scenario for the 2025 PSUs, at the latest, it would hit this threshold. I mean, it's a big if it's going to hit it or not, would be October 2nd of 2027, which is, it's a year and a half away. But the earliest that they could exercise the PSU awards is February 28, 2026, and that's for just that block. And the starting threshold range is $4 a share, and the midpoint, or the average between the start and the end, would be $5 a share. And that's where some analysts trying to set a target price for the stock price. I think that's where they got the $5 a share from. But with the most recent filing, there is a second block of PSU awards. And at the latest for that block, it's going to be October 2nd of 2028. And the only difference is I wished that the starting threshold, I wish that got like moved up $1 a share, but they're holding it at that same baseline of $4, and the ending threshold range is $7 a share, and that would give you a midpoint higher. And right now the stock price is floating at, I think at the recording of this video, it's February 16th of 2026 right now. The stock price is $2.03 a share. And if we're going to hit like these midpoints, that's over 100% gain, but that's not guaranteed because they can't pivot. They have to do it. I mean, there's no other option, or they just fall flat on their face. That's another risky thing, because right now each quarter they're burning through cash, and investors are like, is this thing running nonstop? And they don't really seem too concerned about it. They're just turning it on and off for the customer continuously, because that's what the customer wants, and that customer is the United States Navy. Are there any other big customers? I don't know. Now, another recent thing is that the CEO of HYLN, Thomas Healy, he recently changed, and I noticed this last week. His handle on some of his social media accounts, and the two that I looked at, I didn't check all of them, but the two that I looked at were X, which is formerly Twitter, and Instagram. And before that, his handle was Real Thomas Healy. And that kind of had like a similar kind of flow, and this is just my opinion, of the current president of the United States, which would be Real Donald Trump. But of course, I'm getting kind of political here. The Don is not very popular right now, and it kind of appears that he's kind of distancing himself from kind of that following the leader kind of thing. And now he is Thomas Healy CEO, because I'm sure that there's multiple Thomas Healys out there, and you're like, which one? The CEO, Thomas Healy, and is the founder and CEO of HYLN, producing electricity for data centers and commercial applications. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't know which data centers he's producing electricity for. I know that there's FlexNode, which is doing some sort of data center thing in remote locations for edge data centers. But we haven't really heard anything about FlexNode. But that's the only kind of partnership that they kind of mentioned, and you didn't hear anything about it. And this kind of ties back to Cully Capital and Victoria Grace. Unless there is another data center provider out there that is very desperate for generators, and they're willing to look at this 3D printed generator that can run off of multiple fuels. Because right now they're just, energy for data centers is an issue, and that powers artificial intelligence, which is really hot right now. So he's changed it on his X account and also on his Instagram account. I'm sure he's changed it on others. And his profile picture, he is wearing like some sort of race car driver uniform, because he likes driving race cars. And I'm kind of sure that's kind of like to kind of buddy up with people who also drive race cars. Maybe there's like some people with lots of money that are race car driving enthusiast. So he's kind of like positioned himself kind of in that area, and he's kind of rebranding himself as well by, instead of real Thomas Healy, he's now Thomas Healy CEO. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.